Hi everybody, welcome to the Oldish. Earlier this week we asked our readers to let us know what their very best advice would be for students going back to school. We asked that on Facebook. I did an Instagram post about it and an Instagram live. And today, on today's show, we're going to share those results with you. My name is Karen Brown. I'm the publisher and editor of The Oldish. And I think that you will find a lot of these responses really interesting. They may not be exclusively for students going back to school because as I read through the comments, I actually thought that a lot of them pertain to people who maybe were going to a new job, a new volunteer position, maybe even moving and living in a new community. See what you think. And if you didn't have a chance to chime in on Facebook or Instagram, you can today. Leave something in the comments and we will see it here live and we'll deal with it while it's live. How about we do that? Okay, let's get started. Angela says, do the very best you can. I think that's pretty sage advice no matter what is going on. Mitchell says, wake up and stay awake. It's probably pretty good advice. Lots of people said study hard. Lots and lots of people said study hard. Lots of people also said pay attention. That was, I think those two were maybe tied for first place. Jane says, ask lots of questions and listen to the answers. Isn't that true? Sometimes we ask questions because we're prepared to give our own advice, so we're listening to respond, not listening to actually hear what people are saying. So thanks for that, Jane. Ellen says, start the year with new crayons, pencils, and books. It's inspiring to have a clean slate. Isn't that true? You know, September for me is more of a new year than I think New Year's Eve is. New Year's Eve, it's a new year, I know that, but there's something about September, and I really think it's because we spend so many Septembers in our lives getting ready to go back to school. I think you should do what we did when we started out. Just go, says Mary Louise. Just go. Hazel says, get on the good side of your teacher early. Don't wait to do that, I guess. Yeah. Darlene had a bit longer response. To keep our land and our rights, educate yourself to be good business people like lawyers, teachers, and community leadership. Many other options. We need to learn about our culture from the past, present, and especially our future. Darlene, you have a really good point about community leadership. Living the life that you want your community to exemplify is always a good thing. Lucretia, I like this. Learn to write in script or cursive. You won't always have a computer with you, and you remember more when you write something down. I remember reading something on Facebook. This goes back a few months ago, and it was in the midst of a debate about whether schools should indeed stop teaching cursive writing, which many schools seem to have done. And it said that when the younger generation who are now in elementary school get older, we adults will be able to use cursive as a secret code because they won't know what it says. I think that that's probably really true. Beverly, I don't think liked school. Her piece of advice was, don't go. Marie must have liked school. She said, have fun. Frances, on the other hand, said, don't have too much fun. John said, read a lot. And Bet said, learn to read fast. I think that's something that the learning to read fast piece would have benefited me when I was in university because there's so much to read. So much to read. And I have a friend whose son has just started law school, and I'm sure he'll have a lot to read. I hope he's learned to read fast. Lottie says no bullying. Yeah, bullying is a problem not only in school, but at work, in life. No bullying. Respect yourself and respect others. Not everyone is as smart as you, and believe it or not, some are smarter than you. Thanks for that reminder, Elizabeth. That's good. Bob, I have to wonder if you were an only child. Bob's advice was, spoiled kids aren't accepted. So if you are spoiled at home, work hard to work in groups and fit in. Mary also had some advice about working groups. Working groups in school are always made up of some who want to work hard and some who want to do nothing but still get the grades. Be one of the ones who works hard. Mary, I agree with you, although I was one of those parents who hated working groups. It wasn't such a thing when I was in school, but when my kids were in school, there were always working groups. And I always thought that tasks should be handed out and noted so that you got graded on your contribution to the group. Yeah, because there were always the ones who didn't want to do anything. Never happened. Anyway, Olga says, never give up on learning. That's true. Be a lifelong learner. It will really benefit you in life. Figure out quickly who to listen to and who's leading you down the wrong path. Pamela, good advice. Alicia has a compassionate heart. She says, look for the person who's sitting by themselves and make a new friend. Isn't that true? There are always kids who are going to be quiet, introverted, maybe new to the area and don't have any friends. So if they can make a friend, it'll give them a far better experience. I like this one. Being one of the cool kids isn't all it's cracked up to be. It's a lot of work. Barbara, I have to wonder if you were a cheerleader in school. George says, be brave. Just be brave. Susan, accept others for their differences. That's good advice in this day and age. There are a lot more people with differences, and accepting seems to be something of a problem. David says, watch out for the bad apples. There are a few in every bunch. Gladys says, follow through. Ask for help when you need it, and before it's too late. That advice comes from Angela, and that's true. Whether you are working or whether you're in school, ask for help. It's probably not bad advice for those of us as we age and realize that there are maybe some things we can't do, like climb those ladders and clean windows. I think I talked about a friend who did that and ended up tumbling off the ladder. He should have asked for help. Everyone has something to teach others, and each of us can learn something from everyone else. That's true, Brian. Absolutely true. Marianne, there's a time to talk and a time to listen. Know the difference. Very true. Most things in life aren't as complicated as some would have you believe. Patricia had that piece of advice, and that's true. You know, I sit on boards and committees, and I find that often people try to complicate issues beyond what is necessary, and sometimes it serves to obfuscate the issue, bury the real issue in a lot of talk and comparisons and a bunch of rattletrap. And you need to be able to understand how to carve away at all that nonsense and just get to what the real issue is, because that's how you find yourself able to find solutions and move forward. Don't talk about people behind their back. Talk like you would if they were right in front of you. Thanks, Anne. That's good information. Good advice. Hamilton, we have to wonder what is in your history. And I don't think this is necessarily advice for elementary school children. Don't drink too much. Don't start smoking. And be sure to exercise. Oh, Hamilton, I'd like to have a chat with you. Marion has the best piece of advice, which I have saved for the end. Believe in yourself. Isn't that true? Believe in yourself and you can move mountains. Nobody knows what you can do better than you. You just have to have faith in yourself. So if you have any advice that you'd like to share, we're still here on the air live. If you want to pop it in the comments, we'll see it. But we won't stay here forever waiting for it. You know, isn't it interesting that much of the advice that we can get for going back to school really does turn out to be relevant in life, whether you're starting a new job or going to university or moving to a new community. It's hard to make friends. It's hard to understand who has your best interests at heart and who may be leading you down a bit of a garden path. It's difficult to figure out who buries the issue in a lot of talk because they want to move their own agenda forward. So much advice in life. You know, if we knew then what we know now, maybe we'd have a slightly different life. But, you know, it's good to have advice from people who've been there, done that. So as we bring the show to a close for today, if you have anything that you want to add, some sage wisdom and advice to share with our readers, indeed the world, please leave it in the comments below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also leave it in the comments, and we'll be sure that people get to see that. So, as I close every show with, I will wish you well and remind you to look after one another, and that it does indeed take a village to age a senior.